Hey guys, how is it going? I hope you're all having a wonderful day. In this video, I am going to be trying out a different style of painting this ranger figure while also talking about top 10 mistakes that beginner artists make. These will not include technical aspects of drawing like mistakes with rendering or shading, but this video will focus on the overall mindset that you have in the beginning stages of your art journey. But before we do that, if you're new to this channel, I'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos related to concept art, digital illustration, and painting. So the first mistake that beginner artists make is to ignore the fundamentals of art. They do not invest their time and energy into learning anatomy and perspective, for instance. They just start drawing disproportionate figures in an inaccurate perspective from the top of their head and call it a modern Picasso. It doesn't matter if you are a traditional artist or a digital artist, you need to get the fundamentals down first. It's a bitter pill, but the one we must all take. Usually the reason why work of a pro artist looks pro is because he has a strong knowledge of fundamentals. So if you are a beginner artist, build a strong foundation, learn the basics first, and then move on to other things. Your art journey is like climbing upstairs. Take the first step first. Don't try to jump to the sixth one or you'll damage yourself. Now you might ask, where do I learn these fundamentals? The answer is that you can learn them through books or countless online resources. If you're a beginner, I'd recommend a few books. Scott Robertson's How to Draw series, James Gurney's Color and Light, A Guide for a Realist Painter, Framed Ink and Framed Perspective by Marcos Matthew, Anatomy books by Andrew Loomis. You can also watch YouTube videos or take an online course on these basics. It will really help you a lot. The second mistake that beginner artists make is that they do not use a lot of reference to draw from. They just always try to create something from imagination. I've seen a few people who even think that using reference is kind of like cheating. Come on, it's not cheating. It's the best way to learn drawing and painting and the fastest way to improve. Using reference is not cheating. It's being smart. I've seen many professional artists use reference to draw from. Now you can use reference for a character's face or a pose or even for lighting and color. Another way to use reference images effectively is to take not one but 2 to 3 reference photographs, copy the pose from one, the lighting from the second, and the color from the third picture, and you'll end up creating something entirely new. Where can you find reference? Well, you can find them all over the internet. Just Google up some images, maybe use Pinterest or even DeviantArt. There are also many reference packs that you can purchase from ArtStation Marketplace. If you want a specific pose that you can't really look up on the internet, do your own little photo shoot, do your own poses, and photograph yourself using your phone or a camera. Moving on to the third mistake, not focusing on targeted learning. It's really important that you develop positive drawing habits and do some targeted learning by improving the areas that you find yourself not really good at. I always give this example of drawing hands. Let's say I'm not so good at drawing hands, so what I do is to avoid making hands when I draw people. I hide them behind their back or in long robes or even in the figure's pockets. And if I keep doing this, I'll never be able to draw hands. So I should be able to identify my weak points. In this case, it's drawing hands, and I should be able to improve it by giving some more time and energy to this particular thing. I should give myself a challenge to draw 100 hands and then see the improvement. Do you know about Inktober? It originated from the same idea. Jake Parker wanted to improve at inking comics, so he challenged himself to make an ink drawing every day for 30 days. There's a really useful app for drawing hands from reference. I learned about this app from Mohammed Agbadi. The app is called Handy. I found it on the App Store. It has a bunch of 3Ds of hands and heads. You can choose from different poses, set the angle that you like, change the lighting, and draw from that reference. So maybe give it a try. It's a useful tool. So number 4, sticking to the comfort zone. You know, whenever you're trying out a new pen or doing a little test drawing on a new sketchbook, or even when testing out a new tablet and draw something random, that random thing that you draw is your default drawing. That is your comfort zone. Beginner artists can get stuck in that comfort zone and end up drawing the same stuff over and over again, which results in their characters or environments looking almost almost the same. They are unable to experiment and draw new things. So if you're a beginner artist and you're stuck in that comfort zone, break out of that, experiment a lot more, try new stuff, challenge yourself, try to draw things that you find difficult. See if you can master that. For instance, if I draw fantasy related art a lot more and I kind of find it easy, I should challenge myself to do maybe some sci-fi stuff. Number 5 is looking at art tutorials but not practicing. So let's say I want to learn business. I go to the market and buy a couple of books related to business and money. I learn new stuff and feel like I'm better than what I was yesterday. But if you think about it, did I really get good at business by reading a couple of books? Nope. Books made me feel better, made me feel like I am now a great businessman because I know stuff now. But that's not true. I will never become good at business until I go out in the field, practice business, implement that new knowledge and learn through experience and by making mistakes. The same goes with watching a lot of tutorials and courses and not actually practicing. So if you're a beginner artist, you consume a lot of content maybe here on YouTube, watch a lot of artists draw, learn a lot of new techniques. Please use that knowledge and create your own stuff as well. That's the way to improve. Number 6 is not trying out new mediums. As a beginner artist, you need to try out different mediums and do as much exploration as possible. This will help you get a direction of where you want to go as an artist. If you've always been a fan of drawing with pen and ink, maybe try charcoals or watercolor or even oil paints. If you've always created stuff using traditional mediums, maybe experiment with digital. Explore as much as you can. Number 7. Fear of making mistakes. I've seen beginner artists fearing to make mistakes. If you do the same, let me tell you, you're not gonna improve if you're not making mistakes. Tell yourself that it's alright if you mess up a drawing or a painting. Do not see it as failure, but a process for improvement. Only when you make a lot of mistakes, you learn from them and get better. I've seen some people so afraid to make mistakes or to make a bad drawing that they start tracing stuff just to post it online and get a few likes. That's not the way. You might fool a bunch of people today, but tomorrow you'll still lack the skills, which will honestly do you no good. A great way to do this is to get a sketchbook and swear to God that nobody will ever see what's in that sketchbook. You won't show it to anybody, you won't post it online. It's just for you and your mistakes. Draw a lot of drawings in that sketchbook and make a lot of mistakes. It's easier to make mistakes when you know nobody's gonna see them. Number 8 is hiding behind art styles. I've seen beginner artists not learning the fundamentals of art first and creating characters that look weird as hell and anatomically incorrect. But the artists defend themselves by saying, "It's just my art style." No, it's not. The truth is that you suck at art. You don't try to improve it, you run from practicing to draw better art, and you are stuck in your little bubble thinking that you're good at what you do, which is in fact not true. Art style is something that you develop with time. It's the result of years of practice and years of experimentation. We should not get away from practice and learning by hiding behind art style. Number 9 is being too defensive about your art and not able to take criticism. Art is subjective. What looks good to you might not be great for others. You might find an artwork really inspiring while others may find it boring. But what remains the same is the level of skill, the expertise of drawing, and the knowledge of color and light. Nobody can deny that. So if someone is pointing out a mistake in your anatomy or values or use of color in a nice way, if someone is doing constructive criticism, don't take it to your heart. Open yourself up to acquiring other artists' perspective on things. Be open to learning new stuff from others. Don't get too defensive about your art. And lastly, the number 10 mistake that beginner artists make is making excuses for themselves. Man, if I had that tablet, I would be so much better at drawing. Or, I don't get enough time to draw, man, I'm usually really busy. Or, you've been an artist since your childhood, man, I just started, I can't be as good. If you're a beginner artist and you make excuses for not making art, maybe you want to reconsider consider your options, because art is about passion and dedication. It's an urge that is not bound by whether you have a specific medium to work with or not. When you are passionate about something, you find time for it. You set your priorities and dedicate yourself to that thing you love. You make use of whatever you have in order to quench that thirst of creating something. So I'll end this video here. I hope you learned something new. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button, comment down below and let me know your thoughts and suggestions. Subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in another video. Take care. Bye bye.